Education Specialist.
And I'm Gabby, and I'm the Nutrition Services Manager here at the Idaho Foodbank.
And today we're going to be filming a video of the new Cooking Matters core curriculum, and we're going to be making the Caldo de pollo soup. So these are all the ingredients we're going to be using, and we're going to be taking you through and showing you the process.
Before we start, it's important to wash our hands. To begin, we are going to cook our whole grain aloe pasta, and we're going to start with a pot on the stove filled about halfway with water, and we're going to add a little bit of salt just to help with flavor and to get that boiling. So for this delicious soup recipe, we are going to be using roughly 2 cups of chopped carrots and chopped celery. So I'm going to go ahead and wash those and chop them up, and then we'll throw them in the soup.
Okay, so now I'm adding 1 tablespoon of canola oil or vegetable oil into this pan.
All right, so our water is nice and has a low rolling boil, so we're going to go ahead and add our 1.5 cups of our whole grain pasta, but you can use any of the whole grains listed on the recipe. We'll cook that until al dente, which is approximately 6 minutes for this specific product. We want to cook till al dente, which I mentioned previously, and that actually means to the bite. So it means that it's not soft and smushy, or it's not crunchy. It's kind of right in the middle where it has a little bit of still that structure and a little bit of a bite to the pasta still, because it'll continue to cook for a little bit longer once we've removed it.
Now I'm adding the chicken into the medium to hot frying pan with the oil, and we're going to cook these chicken bits until they are brown. And when cooking chicken, make sure that the internal temperature is 165 degrees Fahrenheit. That way you prevent from getting salmonella or food poisoning.
So now that we've got our celery all washed, I've trimmed the ends off, so the pieces that we won't eat, and I'm just going to go ahead and start doing a thin little chop, just with a rolling motion of the blade here, making sure to avoid my fingers, and it helps to do a claw kind of hand when you are handling these so that you don't get your fingers hit when you're chopping. So we'll just dice all this up and then throw it in the soup.
So now I'm going to peel the carrots before dicing them up. This just makes sure that I get any extra dirt or bacteria off the carrot before I cut it. All right, so now you can see the chicken is starting to brown. So we can set it aside and then add it to the soup when we have our vegetables and broth ready.
So I have a medium white onion here that I'm going to dice up and we'll add to our soup. I like to wear gloves when I chop onions or garlic or any kind of spicy peppers, just because those oils and those kind of spicy oils can get onto your hands, and then later if you touch your eyes, they can burn. So I like to wear these as precaution when we start. Now that I've got my onion, I've removed the outside, I've cut off the ends, and then chopped it in half. And what I like to do is to cut little slices, not all the way through, so just about close to the end, but not all the way through the entire onion. So you can work your way down, and just be careful of your fingers when you're doing this. And then what happens is you have an area to hold on to when you do want to chop. So then once we start chopping this way, we've got nice little chunks of onion, and we still have an end to hold on to, so it's not falling apart.
So now I'm just going to be adding a little bit of canola oil to this pot where we will be sauteing our vegetables. Now I'm going to be adding the onion and celery into this pot where we have a little bit of canola oil, and we're just going to be sauteing that for a few minutes. Now I will be adding the carrots. And our other vegetable is corn, and this one is actually no salt added. And now we're adding adding 4 cups of chicken broth, and this is actually reduced sodium, and each can is 2 cups, so we're going to be adding 2 cans. As you can see, we have a lot of vegetables compared to our broth, so we're actually going to add another can of chicken broth. The great thing about soup is that you can always adjust your ingredients. Adding a little bit more liquid isn't going to change anything. If you want to add a little more salt to taste, feel free to do that. But yeah, soups are really versatile. So now I'm going to be adding a teaspoon of our minced garlic into the soup, and also adding a teaspoon of oregano and parsley. The recipe calls for cilantro, but you can use parsley or cilantro as substitutes. So now we're going to bring this to a boil, and then once it's at a boil, we're going to reduce the heat to a low simmer and let that sit for about 25 to 30 minutes. Now I'm adding the chicken, and we're going to let this sit in the hot water while it's boiling, and then while it simmers, and that chicken will get soft, and hopefully it'll get kind of like shredded chicken, nice and soft. I'll be adding a bay leaf, and this is just for flavor, and don't eat the bay leaf. Take it out before you serve your bowl of soup. So now I'll be adding the pasta. Perfect. So we're just mixing the pasta in the soup, and it's already cooked, so we don't need to worry about cooking the pasta. We just add it in there as a source of fiber and your grains. Now I'm just going to do a taste test of the broth, and you can add salt or pepper, whatever to your liking, to make it taste better. Cheers! Bon appetit!